So there's this new term popping up everywhere, Agentic AI. And the claim? It's a big one. The idea is that it's about to make prompting, well, totally obsolete. We're supposedly shifting from being AI operators to AI managers. So does that mean the skills we just finished learning are already on their way out? Let's break it all down.
You've probably seen this exact message flashing across your feed. Stop prompting, start delegating. And notice, it's not a gentle suggestion, it's a command. It's designed to grab you, to make you feel like you're already falling behind on some massive tectonic shift in technology.
Okay, so what does this shift actually look like in practice? Well, on the left, that's the world we've been living in. You're the operator, you give the AI specific, step-by-step instructions to help with one part of a job. But on the right, that's the new world of agentic AI. Here, you're the manager. You don't give instructions, you delegate outcomes. You hand over the entire project, not just one little task. And that, of course, brings us to the big, kind of uncomfortable question, right? If an AI can manage an entire project from start to finish, are we still just talking about automating tasks? Or are we talking about an AI that could replace, well, you? To really get to the bottom of this, here's our game plan. First, we're going to ask if prompts are really dead. Then, we'll define what agentic AI actually is. After that, we'll dissect the viral message around it, look at the real-world stakes, and finally, wrap up with what you can actually do about it.
All right, let's dive into that first big claim. Is this really the end of the road for prompts? The whole argument is that we are on the verge of a massive, fundamental shift in how we work with AI.
And just look at the language here. Officially over. That is not an accident. That phrasing is specifically chosen to make you feel like those prompt engineering skills you just spent months honing are already becoming ancient history. It creates this immediate, powerful sense of urgency. So if prompting is over, then what exactly is replacing it? This brings us to the core of it all. What is agentic AI really? And how is it supposed to be so much more than just a simple command? Okay, let's just cut through all the hype for a second. At its core, agentic AI really just means autonomous systems. These things don't just respond to one command at a time. They can actually think, plan, and then execute entire complex projects with multiple steps. You can give them access to tools, like, say, browsing the internet or writing code, and they can figure out their own plan to get to a goal, learning and adjusting as they go. That right there is the leap, from just following instructions to true autonomy.
So we have this really powerful new technology, but why is it suddenly everywhere? It's not just because the tech itself is interesting. There's a very carefully engineered message being built around it. And honestly, understanding that message is just as important as understanding the tech.
This whole message follows a super effective 5-step playbook. It kicks off with a really strong opener, it creates a sense of urgency and FOMO, introduces a concept that's designed to be polarizing, raises the personal stakes, and then it wraps it all up with a very clear call to action. Let's look at each one.
Step 1 is all about this formula. Stop doing this thing you do and start doing this new, better thing. It's a classic marketing hook. It instantly creates a conflict, right? It frames the old way as being wrong and presents the new way as the only path forward. It's designed to grab your attention from the get-go.
Step 2 is where they dial up the pressure. They use a phrase like officially over, because it's a massive psychological trigger for FOMO, the fear of missing out. The subtext is crystal clear. The train is leaving the station and you're about to be left on the platform.
Now, step 3 is where it gets really clever. The whole idea of an autonomous AI, it's intentionally a little bit unsettling. And that tension is exactly what fuels engagement. It sparks arguments, it gets people commenting and sharing, and that helps the message just spread like wildfire.
And then, step 4. This is the emotional gut punch. This line, the AI that replaces you, not just your tasks, it makes the whole thing intensely personal. Suddenly, this isn't some abstract tech trend we're talking about. No, now it's about your career, your value, your future. And finally, step 5 closes the deal. After creating all that anxiety and personal stakes, the message offers you a simple way out, a clear call to action. It promises a quick fix to the huge problem it just created, and it's all designed to get you to make that one crucial click.
Okay, so we've seen how the message is constructed, we get it, but now for the most important part. What are the real-world stakes here? Is there any actual fire underneath all of this smoke?
You'll often see a specific date thrown into the mix. Putting a year like 2025 on the timeline
is a tactic to make an abstract threat feel very real and very immediate. It turns a vague idea into a concrete career deadline you have to start thinking about right now.
And let's be really clear here, this isn't all just marketing fluff. The top tech labs really are shifting their focus in this direction. The conversation happening behind closed doors in the R&D departments is absolutely moving from AI as a helpful assistant to AI as an autonomous agent. And this means your professional value, what makes you hireable, might soon depend a lot less on how well you can write a prompt and a lot more on your strategic ability to manage and delegate to these AI systems.
All of this leads us to our final and maybe most critical section, your next move. So how in the world do you prepare for this shift from just prompting to true delegation?
You know, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. The real challenge here isn't about learning a new piece of software. It's about adopting a completely new mindset for work. It's about learning to think like a manager of autonomous agents, not just an operator of a tool. You're moving from a doer to a director. Can you define a goal so clearly that an AI can achieve it on its own? Can you evaluate its work and steer it back on course? That is the new skill set.
So we're going to leave you with this thought. You've now seen the technology, and you've seen the powerful hype machine that's been built to sell it to you. The real question isn't just about what agentic AI is going to do next. The real question is, what are you going to do? Now that you can separate the tech from the marketing narrative, how will you respond?